and welcome back to A Chapter a Day.
Keeps the devil away.
As we are unshaken, we're going to look at Mark chapter 15. We're going to outline it. We're going to make some observations, find some interpretations, and finally get to an application that you can take with you to do this very day. All right, let's look at Mark 15, starting at verses 1 through 5. Talk about Jesus being delivered over to Pilate. The Sanhedrin hands Jesus over to him, and then he questions him about being king of the Jews and doesn't get very far and seeks to release him. Then the crowd chooses Barabbas in verses 6 through 15. Barabbas, of course, means son of the Father. And they choose him instead of Jesus, who's the actual son of the Father. Then the soldiers mock Jesus in verses 16 through 20. They make him clothed in purple, and then crown him with a crown of thorns. And then they hail him as king of the Jews and pretend to bow to him and then punch him. Then the crucifixion is in verses 21 through 32. We have Simon of Cyrene has to carry his cross. Soldiers divide his garments, fulfilling scriptures. Passers-by, they all mock him. They demand him to save himself, and he dies between two criminals. Then you got the death of Jesus in Mark 15, 33 through 41. Darkness covered the land at about 3 p.m. He cries out, Psalm 22, my God, why have you forsaken me? He breathes his last. The temple veil tears in two, and the centurion confesses this man truly was the Son of God. Then you got verses 42 through 47. Joseph of Arimathea, a council member waiting the kingdom, requests for Jesus' body, and then he buries him in a rock-hewn tomb. And Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Joseph, they see where he is laid. Now, any observations other than it's really tough to pronounce Joses?
Joseph.
All right.
Hey, you did great.
All right.
Sometimes
I'm like, is it Jose's or Joseph?
I think it's just Joseph.
All right. Okay. All right, let's go with, what are some observations here? Why didn't Jesus defend himself before Pilate? He could have made, right before a Roman guy, he could have made a defense for his divinity, claimed something. He could have done anything.
He came to die. It's from the beginning. His name is Jesus. He came to save his people from their sins. How would he do that? By being the atoning sacrifice, the propitiation, who would take the death we deserve, offer the life we could never live, and save us.
Okay, what about this then? Why Barabbas over Jesus? He was a murderer. He was an insurrectionist. And they choose him over Jesus. Could the Pharisees or whoever the rulers, the priests, could they really get the people to just say whatever they wanted? Were they that influential?
It seems like the people really wanted Jesus dead.
Yep.
And then you have the symbolism of, you have the exchange. A man who deserved death being exchanged for Jesus.
Yeah.
And you just go, well, there's the gospel. That's us. Barabbas is me. I deserve death. I've sinned against the holy God. It should have been me. And yet Jesus died instead.
Okay. What about...
But one thing to notice, though.
Yeah.
Pilate said, what evil has he done? And they just shouted out, crucify him.
Who cares?
And so it says, Pilate wishing to satisfy the crowd.
Man.
And you just go, here is
dude.
just a spineless chump. And he's the ruler of the day. Here's the rulers of the world at this point, a spineless chump. And then you get, here's my other observation, is then you get Joseph of Arimathea, respected member of the council, okay? Someone who had a lot to lose by identifying with Jesus, right? And yet it says in verse 43, he took courage and went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Be a Joseph, not a Pilate.
Nice. What about, it's interesting that Mark makes note of the temple veil being torn in two. What's the big deal there?
Okay, this is pretty cool. So the veil separated what from what? Ready?
Holy of Holies from the Holies.
And what was in the Holy of Holies?
That would have been where the ark was.
And what did the ark represent?
It represented God's actual presence. That was his throne, the Bema seat, if you will, where he made judgment over all the earth.
There you go. And so what did the curtain represent? Being, a separation of the Holy of Holies from the Holies.
Oh, that was like the separation from the altar of incense, the lamp, the menorah, and then the showbread, the table of presence, where the priest would do all the things of offering up their prayers, showing fellowship with God, and
Fellowship with God. Okay, so not just anyone could go in there,
no,
right?
just priests.
The curtain represented separation of sinners from God's holiness.
Much like Garden of Eden.
Okay, and so what would in the Garden of Eden? What did God install to keep Adam
Flaming
and Eve out?
sword-bearing angels.
Cherubim.
Yes.
Which is exactly what was on those curtains.
Isn't that wild?
And when they create at first the tabernacle and then the temple.
Yep.
God commands to put on the curtains cherubim. And so representative of the separation that sinners have from God because of our sin. And so when Jesus dies and the curtain is torn from top to bottom, there's the wall, if you will, that separates us from God is torn down, and we have a way back to God, to be reconciled to God.
So
that's what Jesus did for us.
That's pretty amazing. The imagery there is amazing, and of course God would do it that way. And he's into the details, which I love that. And I mean, the reason why I like this is because who would have thought to make sure that they get the temple veil in there? Hey, make sure you include the temple veil in the story, throw that in somewhere. But it happened, and I don't know if they were thinking, oh, that means notice on the, I mean, do you think that they were thinking like that? I just think they're like, and it was crazy. The temple veil in the temple actually tore too when this happened. I think that was just reportage. And then later on, we're like, oh, wait a minute. That's what this means. Look back in the garden in Genesis 3, cherubim with a flaming sword is keeping Adam and Eve from entering the presence of God. Oh, look at this. Now we are able to enter through the blood of Jesus into the presence of God. How wild.
Amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about some truths about the nature of man that we can derive.
Pilate wanted to satisfy the crowd. And man, that if you think that's not in you too, then you're deceived. That's part of our flesh. That's in all of us. Just like, how can I live and what can I do and what can I say just to kind of not have anyone be mad at me? And, that's all I really care about at the end of the day. I just don't want anyone to be mad at me. I don't want anyone to not like me. And
okay, how about this? Man mocks that which he does not understand. Notice the soldiers, they're rolling dice. They're just messing with, they're doing like, I mean, honestly, I can't think of a greater depiction of soldiers than this, because that's exactly what soldiers would do. As being from the military, we did all sorts of ridiculous stuff, and that would have been right in line. That we mock that which we don't understand, because that gives us control over it.
Yeah. The ultimate end of sin is murder. You see the sinful hearts of people rejecting Christ. It's not enough to just not listen to him or ignore him. They want to kill him. The reality of sin's corruption is that we have murderous hearts.
All right, how about let's shift to the character of God. God's plan sometimes includes injustice that he overcomes with Jesus, but it doesn't look so good in intermittent times.
Yeah, that's good. The love of God. Romans 5:8 says that God demonstrated his own love for us in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. And so here in the crucifixion of Jesus, we see the character of God in his love for sinners.
I love how the Roman centurion reveals the glory of the cross, because he can't deny, like he doesn't have any religious training. He's just a guy. It's a soldier. He went to work that day, and he's like, all right, I guess I got the crucifixions today. And he takes up Jesus, and he goes, clear, this is the Son of God. Remember with John the Baptist, even the rocks will cry out. Or God can make from these rocks children of Abraham. And clearly here you see a confession from a man who probably before that day wasn't thinking about Jesus.
God is pleased to reveal himself to sinners. He revealed himself to an undeserving, a guy who was mocking him and, just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, probably thought it was pretty funny when his soldiers did ridiculous stuff to him.
And God reveals himself to this Roman centurion.
It's wild.
Saves him.
How about some spec? Sin to avoid, promise to claim, example to follow, command to obey, or knowledge to believe. What do you got?
I go back to my be a Joseph, not a Pilate. Take courage and seek to honor Jesus in your life, not just satisfy the crowds.
Good. How about sin to avoid? Don't mock Jesus.
That's good. Don't mock Jesus.
How about the promise to claim? We have access to the presence of God.
Yeah, that's good.
And I think, I just think of the cherubim, the veil split down. That's just beautiful and exciting at the same time.
Before we wrap it up, question.
Yeah.
The shroud.
Ooh.
What do you think?
Shroud of Turin?
Yeah.
You know, I think the Catholics should let us get another DNA sample.
It's still in Turin, Italy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, for those listening, if you don't know the Shroud of Turin, the Catholics
Let's
claim
get some DNA from that.
It's the burial this linen cloth that Joseph of Arimathea purchased to wrap the body of Jesus in. They say they have it in Italy. What do you think? Do you think it really is? You don't know?
Could be.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of cool books written about it, like how you make a Messiah figure by cloning.
Okay, I just had to ask. We're on Mark 15.
Yeah.
I needed to hear what you thought.
Yeah, sorry.
Back to have courage and follow Jesus.
Let's talk about what we're doing. Have courage. Trust Jesus. Live for him today. Live with the example of standing up for Jesus when others are denying him.
Amen. That's good.
Hey, we'll see you next time on A Chapter a Day.